Andrew Erickson. The Columbus Dispatch at Erickson. An interesting nugget surfaced over the weekend, as the 7 rounds of the NFL draft played out. According to Tracking Football, 88% of players drafted played multiple sports in high school. That might hold true in football, where games are limited to just a few months and there is no club season. Sure, there are passing tournaments, prospect camps and off-season weight programs, but it's more than fair to argue that a player's most important film comes from Friday nights in the fall. In the higher levels of soccer, multi-sport athletes are tough to find. Most players in MLS either grew up playing soccer exclusively or specialized at a young enough age to experience the full scope of the club soccer scene. I would say hockey and soccer are two sports where you have to pretty much start focusing on it at an early age, Crew coach Greg Berhalter said. If you don't, I don't think you have a good chance to be a pro. One of the few Crew players who wasn't a one-sport athlete in high school, veteran center-back Josh Williams, agrees. Had he entered the league recently as opposed to in 2010, when he first signed out of Cleveland State, he might not have had a path in professional soccer. I feel like nowadays, that path is even harder because kids are specializing in one sport so much, you fall behind technically, if that makes sense. Williams said, "When I was coming up, the league just wasn't where it's at right now. The talent wasn't the same. It wasn't as hard to make a roster, and I remember when I came in I thought, geez, I'm not ready for this. I got a whole half a season to kind of sit and train, and obviously you get accustomed to this next level and you come in for the next preseason. I felt that I was at that level." Williams' multi-sport resume in high school stemmed from watching his buddies play basketball from the stands as a freshman at Copley High School, not far from Akron. "I was miserable," he said. He quit club soccer and picked up a full slate of high school soccer, basketball and baseball as a sophomore, a move, he said, saved him, somewhat, from burnout. Not that everyone agreed with the decision. "My club soccer coach was obviously like, 'What are you doing?' he said. I believe the quote was, 'He's not Bo Jackson.' My mom reminds me of that all the time. That kind of fueled me a little bit. For a while, he felt he was best at baseball, and had the Division I offers to show for it. Kentucky, West Virginia and a few other schools offered before he decided to shut down his baseball recruitment. He decided on soccer, where he twice was an all-state selection, before making 74 starts with Cleveland State. Looking back on his decision not to specialize as a high school athlete, Williams doesn't regret it. Playing 3 sports set him back some in technique, something he's worked hard during his 9 seasons to improve. But it gave him a chance to compete with friends and he made the decision understanding the trade-offs. I think it's just important to have the right frame of mind," Williams said. "That as long as you understand you're taking time away from excelling and fine-tuning skills because you're playing baseball and basketball, and as long as you're willing to put in the time to fine-tune skills, who's anybody to tell you not to follow your passion?" Legal news. The City of Columbus on Tuesday filed a reply memo supporting its motion to toll, or pause, its lawsuit against Precourt Sports Ventures and Major League Soccer until the 6-month notice window in the Art Modale law has been observed. City Council argues in its latest filing that equitable tolling is supported by both the law and that they are not seeking a years-long pause in the case, merely a pause of any running clock, until the central legal question involving the statute have been fully resolved. City Attorney Zach Klein further argues that the case meets the guidelines for equitable tolling granted in compelling cases, citing the Austin Clause, included in PSV's 2013 purchase of the Crew as well as Sports Illustrated's recent ambition rankings, which ranked Crew SC last of 23 MLS teams and questioned whether Crew investor-operator Anthony Precourt willfully sandbagged the club in order to justify his desired exit. He also described what he believes to be inequitable conduct within the case from PSV MLS counsel, including the mention of an LLC agreement between MLS and its members in the motion to dismiss filed a little less than 2 weeks ago that did not include an attachment of said agreement. MLS counsel in Columbus could not be reached for comment. Columbus and the state of Ohio are expected to respond to the PSV MLS motion to dismiss sometime this week. McCalla placed city officials and representatives for MLS2ATX, the Precourt Sports Ventures-run brand associated with the ownership group's relocation effort in Austin, held a community engagement meeting regarding the potential McCalla Place Stadium site in North Austin. The meeting, and others to follow, are the next step after a March resolution from Austin City Council asking the city manager to conduct a site analysis and stakeholder outreach focused on the 24-acre, city-owned site. Austin Business Journal reporter Daniel Salazar covered the meeting and tweeted that it included presentations from PSV community representatives as well as lobbyist Richard Suttle. The representatives discussed possible benefits of a new stadium, including a park and ride for Cap Metro, the city's transportation authority. Attendees were handed community feedback forms asking their thoughts on the possibility of a stadium being built at McCalla Place. Suttle, according to Salazar, called the meeting the tip of the iceberg in terms on outreach. He noted that games during off-peak hours, typically MLS games kick off on Saturday nights, should prevent the stadium from adding to traffic problems and said of the team leaving Columbus, the Precourt guys are looking at this as a team that's going to be here for a long time. Suttle reiterated that PSV's goal is to secure a permanent stadium site first before securing a temporary site. According to Salazar, Suttle wrapped up his speech by adding, "We kind of need to know before the city council takes off this summer whether we're in the hunt." Austin City Council has meetings June 14th and June 28th before breaking until August. Another community engagement meeting is scheduled for Thursday night near the Gracie Woods neighborhood in North Austin. On the men, Pedro Santos wasn't too concerned about his finger following the Crew's win over San Jose. He did appear to be in a good bit of pain after his right index finger was stepped on in the first half, but, after all, soccer is a sport played with feet. Berhalter indicated Monday there's even less to worry about, as an X-ray taken on Santos' finger came back negative. Crognali returns. Crew center-back Alex Crognali was back at training in Obetz on Tuesday after an 8-game loan stint with United Soccer League club Orange County SC, in which he made 7 starts and played 638 minutes. After a game at Seattle on Saturday, the Crew finishes off a 3-game week with home contests against the Philadelphia Union and Chicago Fire. A tight schedule requires reinforcement, so Crew SC might need Crognali's services at some point over the next 3 games. "We get bodies in here and hopefully he can contribute in some way, but it's important to consolidate the group and get everyone ready," Berhalter said. "We told the guys this morning it's going to be a big week for us with a tough Western Conference opponent away and then 2 Eastern Conference opponents at home. So it's going to be a huge week and we're going to need the whole group." Berhalter said whether Crognali returns to Orange County after the 3-game swing for Crew SC will be determined at the end of the week. Erickson at Dispatch.com. At Erickson's